a certain call when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make it brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day, just you and me.
pray first. Jesus, we thank you for this day. God, whatever is the next move, Jesus, we just thank you for guiding our steps, keeping us safe, and encamping your angels around us. We know that the weapon will be formed, God, but we know no weapon formed against us shall prosper. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Hey, Adriana. It's about to break soon. I pray so. Y'all feel that swing for the nation? You guys feel that? I come in for for everybody. It's not everyday people. What some people are not understanding is basic programming. There's basic programming in the military. There's basic programming coming from narcissists. If you've ever had a narcissist in your life, you know that there's some things that you will not be able to push or budge with that narcissist because they could get their way, right? No matter what you do, no matter what you say, it will always be your fault. They will never take responsibility. They will never take accountability. Their ego is too big to ever admit their wrongs. They take that shit to the grave. Okay. Survivors, real ones, I'm talking to you. These next few weeks, they gunning for the nation. These next few weeks, there is an auction for a lot of survivors that are speaking out. If you are speaking out, this is the time. Do not stop. Go full force. This is the time. If you have connections and you see connections for people who are bigger than what you see from these survivors that are coming out, the real victims, we don't have that much pull. We put out so much information. You guys have seen things happen in real time. We put out the evidence and it holds weight. There's been some people, I'm gonna sue you. Okay. Okay. Right? We put out a lot of information. I'm going to recirculate some information a little bit, but before we do, I just want to give y'all a heads up. You seen the next arrest? There's number 3. It's coming. And we're in the way. Big time. MK Ultra is not a joke. You guys are understanding the heaviness and the weight and the reality of sex trafficking. You're not understanding yet, and I pray that you do, that sex trafficking ties hand in hand with MK Ultra and satanic ritual abuse. Some of you guys have seen Satan in your face and still can't understand and fathom that he's in the mix of this. You have people pretending to be Satan. You have people creating sets to be Satan and with your celebrities and stuff. And then I went into elite trafficking. At 16 and a half, I was auctioned to Russia. At that moment, I realized I'm not coming back. I was sold to the man for a weekend, and I was supposed to go with him for a week. And in that small time that I was with this man, I was like, he hates Americans. And I didn't understand at that time. I was 15. I did not understand what that meant for people out of the country. I was taken out of the country while in foster care custody. Everything was different. The smells were different. The street signs, The doors, the walls, everything was just different. And I thought, like, God, if I could just please go back to the States, I swear I will get away from this man. I will figure something out. The way he treated me, I knew that if I was to spend more than a few days with him, I was lucky enough to come back, that he was going to kill me. So I ran from foster care, from Child Protective Services custody. Went missing AWOL for a year straight. Nobody helped. People are quick to say that they will help. Money changes people. Promises change people. I've seen people, I've walked into a job, I've been high, I told them the truth. I'm 14 years old, I'm 15 years old, this is the truth, this is what's going on. And I've had people respond to me and tell me, you're the same age as my daughter and not for tonight. I've had people tell me some wild stuff on jobs. Treat it like therapy for their sick fantasies. It's not just the elite, it's everybody in the middle, it's everybody in between, and it's everybody on the bottom. Down to the people who clean the sex toys got issues. Okay, so you think that it's just the elite that are using things and hurting people, but there are people who clean sex toys for elite, that because that's their job and they come in for cleanup, then if there is somebody who is laying there after a job, then they will still go after you, because hey, what is anybody gonna do? My name is Allison Carter. Yes, that is my legal name.
23rd.
Today is October 23rd. 2024. Yeah, that'll help. I have been drowning in my PTSD. And I know that I'm really trying. And I'm also really trying to have this backbone. And I'm really trying, okay? But I've been drowning in my PTSD. I can't sleep. When you know the truth and when you understand what we're talking about, you won't be able to sleep either. When you understand that there's a child being trafficked, brutalized, raped, tortured right now as we speak, you won't be able to sleep either. When you realize how much your government is lying to you about, everything is in your face, and some of it you've enabled, you won't be able to sleep. So, my nightmares and my flashbacks have been kicking my ass. I am going to be so blunt about that. If you have PTSD, then you understand that sometimes your PTSD will start PTSDing, and there is nothing that you can do to stop it. You're like, look, I'm good. I don't know why we're doing this right now, but it won't stop. My skin is crawling. Akon picked me and 4 other girls. He had a friend with him who was from Dubai. He has many connections to Dubai. And we had to be tested and sampled after we got our blood taken, which means that they're allowed to touch us. They were allowed to touch us wherever they wanted to. Even like finger test, oral, vaginal, but my friend didn't want to do anal, which was just a test. They were just allowed to kiss or touch you in public, and it's not that bad. Yeah. Because Akon didn't pick my friend Nevaeh. He picked me. She was upset. We felt like that's who we had to be talking to because that's what we were told to do. So we were taken to these houses, really nice houses. Before we were told to go to a room, we were in the living room, and I was sitting with Akon, and my friend was sitting with his friend, who was from Dubai. They still didn't do a test or do a sample that they could do. So his friend fisted my friend anally. He beat her. She fought him, and it made things worse. You're not allowed to help. You're not allowed to, you're not allowed to flinch. You're not allowed to get angry. So I didn't help her. And I'm really sorry. And she got hurt. She bled a lot, and she got really sick. And I didn't get to see her anymore after that. So I didn't cry. I didn't get mad with Akon. I didn't get mad at all. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't asking him to let me go. I didn't get mad at him. I did what he said. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't brutal. It wasn't bad. Okay. He didn't hurt me, as you know, he didn't hurt me. A lot of people canceled Whoopi for a Holocaust statement. Nobody wants to cancel Snoop Dogg. He performed at the halftime Super Bowl performance. Yet nobody was upset that a pedophile, a known pimp, was the entertainment for the halftime performance. But y'all want to cancel Whoopi Goldberg for a statement that she made. She needed to be canceled.
She needs to be canceled for other shit.
But that was nothing compared to the statement. Like, I mean, the statement that she made in regards to the Holocaust, that's nothing compared to statements she's made before.
Or things she's done.
Or things that she's done. And now everybody's, oh, she's canceled now. Why?
Be consistent.
Why wasn't she canceled before? And as for Snoop Dogg, if you're going to cancel Whoopi, why are you not canceling a known pimp? A known pimp that's also a known pothead even when pot wasn't legal. How many of you know somebody that's sitting in jail right now over weed?
Not Snoop.
But not Snoop. Rules for thee and not for me. Right? So nobody's upset about that? Nobody's mad though. But y'all got people making TikToks about Whoopi. And upset about things that don't even matter. But you let a known pedophile entertain you at a halftime performance. You know that he is a known pedophile. He is a known child rapist. He is a known pimp. It is even in articles. I posted it back in December 2020, and I'll repost it in my story after this. And I got attacked. How could you say that about Snoop Dogg? I was his arm candy once. A lot of people canceled Whoopi for a Holocaust statement. Nobody wants to cancel Snoop Dogg. He performed at the halftime Super Bowl performance. Yet nobody was upset that a pedophile, a known pimp, was the entertainment for the halftime performance. But but y'all want to cancel Whoopi Goldberg for a statement that she made. She needed to be canceled.
She needs to be canceled for other shit.
But that was nothing compared to the statement. Like, I mean, the statement that she made in regards to the Holocaust, that's nothing compared to statements she's made before.
Or things she's done.
Or things that she's done. And now everybody's, oh, she's canceled now. Why?
Be consistent.
Why wasn't she canceled before? And as for Snoop Dogg, if you're going to cancel Whoopi, why are you not canceling a known pimp? A known pimp that's also a known pothead even when pot wasn't legal. How many of you know somebody that's sitting in jail right now over weed? I know there's no justice for me. But there are millions, absolutely millions of other survivors that need you. Just as much as you said you would stop and drop and you guys love and care about us, even if it's just the watching us on the internet, resharing our videos, telling somebody and educating somebody, please do that for other survivors, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the last one that has something to tell you if it was my time to go. The fake arrest, you guys see what happened to Sandra Bland. You guys have seen the whole bullshit with Epstein. You guys have seen numerous people go into a jail cell and not come out because of mysterious issues. And a mysterious, I'm telling you right now that none of us are suicidal. We would love life if we can have some fun, but none of us are suicidal. There will be no accidental car accidents. Nothing should accidentally set on fire. No houses or anything should actually accidentally set on fire. There is nothing in this car that cannot be accounted for. And that's it and that's all. Here I have a lot of evidence that I have not released yet. And Tupac, you won't be able to hide from the public if I do. Okay? Anybody that was in my biological family as surrogates, they know damn well what I'm talking about. All of y'all know what I'm talking about. And if something happens to this woman right here, that's the only person that I will ever consider. She is my mother. I know nothing else. So somebody touch my mama, it won't be a Sandra Bland situation. You guys will be seeing us on t-shirts. And I'm down with that because we know where we're going. But if insurance releases insurance, you release everything. And I mean everything. If a song comes on of cleaning out my closet, everybody knows what that means. So I want to tell you now, I know a lot of shit that I should not know. I haven't even got to the facilities. I haven't even got to things where things are buried. Why do I know cases that were in San Bernardino in 2005 when I was a child? I know a lot of shit that I haven't put off yet because every time I do, you guys see what kind of hell that we get. So like I said, Tupac, you know what I'm talking about, and you won't even be able to hide from your own family. Try me. You know I don't bluff. Joe Biden has a water island. Jeffrey Epstein had an island. Zuck, Facebook owner, he has an island. Guess what neighboring island he's on? He neighbors right next to Water Island. It's a kid island. Go figure. What does he own? Our social media. Ain't that funny? The man who has everybody's location, privacy, and your pictures that you posted every 10 years. Yeah, that's the one who owns an island right next door to Joe Biden and Jeffrey Epstein. Look it up. Ask me how I know. I keep asking everybody. You know, if you want to ask me a question, go ahead and ask me a question. But, you know, I have no color line. I have no political line. Did you see that there are drag queens on my page? And when I dance, I always do the shablam. Okay? Do you notice that I'm very versatile? I don't give a shit who you are. It matters about what your heart says. Actions speak louder than the words. And it shouldn't, I don't care about what you say. I care about what you show me. That's how it works. I don't date for that reason. Y'all remember the Ghislaine Maxwell case? Do you remember how people were posting it and talking about it, and it was only then that truth tellers and people on really big platforms were talking about trafficking. Once that died down, you didn't hear anything about it again until now, when there's an arrest. And now there's people that are constantly, let's talk about trafficking. That there should have been that energy, because this doesn't end. This doesn't stop. It gets brushed up under the rug. It gets covered up. As you know, with the Diddy case right now, if you don't know, he requested the names of the victims and the people who are coming out against him, and people are dying. Liam Payne fell. He fell from a 3rd floor balcony. Do you really believe that man fell? He just, oops. Really? Let's be real. Come on now. Dig. Because what connection did he have? What was he about to do? What connections? What was he going to say? Okay. A lot of people are like, how are y'all still alive? We move a lot. It's exhausting. We move a lot. Because when we realize that we're about to be sitting ducks, we get up and get out of the way. I was one of the kids that was one of the party favors. And a party favors means that you're set on top of a table and you're used as a toy for anybody who comes across the table or who wants to party at a certain time of night. When the music stops and then the DJ starts flashing all these lights and they close the doors, and then everybody turns into like a frenzy and starts going into a crazed animal-like demonic state, and you have no idea what's going on. And yes, there was a time where I was just like completely don't give a shit because it happened, and I was the type of kid that thought that, you know, you're in the presence of royalty and they make it seem like you're in the presence of Hollywood, so you should be honored and you should be appreciating that you're there. And I was that person. I totally acted like that. I was like, oh, it's fine, you know, it really doesn't matter. But then it really did matter.
Wow. Do you believe Allie's story? Wow. 66% of the chat said they believe Allie's story. I believe her story. I do. And there's probably several stories like hers. You see who we got in the back. Several stories like hers. Salute, Drea. 66% of the chat believe that her story is real.
That just blows me. How come it's not 100%? Like, how can you not believe that girl? She's dropping receipts. She's dropping names. It's not like she can't be making that up. There's no way. You can't make that shit up. I'm sorry, but you can't make that shit up. Unless you've been through it, I couldn't sit here and begin to make up a story and stories like that.
Right.
You just can't make stuff like that up. Like, unless you've been through it, you can't make it up.
Her story give me chills.
It makes me disgusted. I'm sick to my stomach. Like, I'm so done with all of them. Like, I don't even want to listen to music no more because I don't want to support these people. I don't want nothing to do with it. Like, I can't. Every time I look at a little kid, I wonder, how can you possibly, what possesses you to do that to a child? Why? What is so appealing about a baby, a child? What I mean, it gets to my core. It makes me angry. It makes me sick. I just can't. I just can't. And I would, if I met that girl and I could do anything to help her, help other people, help find survivors, that's exactly what I would do. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because they don't deserve to be in that position. They don't deserve to be in that situation. You see homeless people, some people say, oh, that's on them. They drug addicts. They did it to themselves. These children did not do this to themselves. They're at a stage in life where they can't make decisions on their own. They're minors. They're not at the age of consent. So you can't even say, well, they did it to themselves because they ran away. They're children. They know not what they do. So you can't blame them. And it's adults, grown adults, old enough to be their brothers, fathers, grandfathers doing this to them. And grandmothers and mothers and aunts doing it to them. You can't exclude the women either because they're just as bad.
Right.
And they're involved in it too.
Let me see what the chat had to say about it. Just a minute. Salute, 88. Salute, Miss Owen. Salute, Judge.
It just makes me nauseous, Ju-Quetta. It makes me nauseous. Like, I can't.
Yeah,
I really think because I have youngsters in my family, you know what I mean, babies that I adore with every ounce of me. You know what I mean? My brother and sister have kids, and I'm sorry, let me find out. And I promise you, I probably won't see the light of day again, but neither will that motherfucker. I'll tell you that.
I think she was Miss Uwe. I think she was trafficked several times. It started when she was a young girl.
She says it started when she was like 3 or 5. She was a baby, little.
Yeah, she was in the system. In the system.
It started off when she was with her mother, and I think that's why she was taken because when she was with her mother, she was being abused, and then she ended up in the system, and it just got worse from there.
Yep, they was peddling her through the system. CPS, as it's called.
They ain't protecting nothing. They ain't protecting no children. They ain't protecting nobody. That's why they so quick to yank them out the homes and put their fathers in jail and yank the kids out the homes away from their mothers and put them in situations like this, compromising situations. Then you got the mom out there trying to work, which is required, trying to fight for the kid, which is required, trying to take care of the other kids, which is required, and you can't do it all. You know what I mean? Like they just put them in situations that there's no getting out of. Like their hands are tied no matter what they do. And
we give them that power from conception. We give them that power from conception whenever we sign the birth certificate, not knowing it. That's why CPS can step in whenever they choose to, because we actually sign our children away at birth, not even knowing it. We give them to the system before we even take them home from the hospital. And we just didn't know it.
They wouldn't be taking my kid. I'm sorry, but no, I'm sorry.
Nothing you can do about it. Nothing you can do about it.
Okay, all right. You can say that now, but there's nothing I do about it.
Run and hope you don't get caught, because it's designed that way. And all you know is the system. That's all you know is the system. How long can you run from it? When the ones that you thought you can trust, who's supposed to be there for you, are the ones who's doing the damage. Where do you go? Who do you go to?
You can't really trust nobody. Like it's a game of Russian roulette. It's 50-50. You could trust a stranger, you trust somebody that you're supposed to trust the authorities, trust this, trust that. And they're the ones doing the dirt. It's a 50-50 chance to just go up to a stranger and be like, can you help me? People are so sick. They're so sick. They're sick.
And I can imagine how they kept quiet for so long, because they didn't have nobody to go to. Everything they had, everything they knew was corrupt. Even if they try to go to authorities, they don't even know whether or not they was corrupt or not, which they might have been corrupt. They had everybody in their pockets. So they have nowhere to rent, no revenue, nothing.
I remember 4 years ago her going live in one of them clips. I remember that. And I remember her talking about it.
In 2020.
She wasn't trying to be quiet then, but nobody was trying to hear her. And then she just disappeared, and you didn't hear anything else until just recently. And I'm like, I remember that girl, and it brought me back to where I was 4 years ago, to where I'm like, you know what, this has to stop, and I don't care at what lengths we make it stop, but it has to stop. I don't care if You start storming the ports and search the containers yourself. However it's got to be done, it's got to stop. It's got to stop.
See,
I mean, you have armed guards
they
guarding these containers, but those armed guards know exactly what's going on inside those containers.
It's corrupted
You
all the
can't,
way to the top.
yeah, you can't get the military involved because guess what? Allegedly, they're just as bad. So who do you
Who
go
can you
to?
run to? There's nowhere to run.
Not the elected officials because they're just as bad, allegedly.
Allegedly, right? Who do you run to? They defense. They have nowhere to run. My
And you know
heart
what's
goes
crazy?
out to all of those babies, the ones that made it out, and the ones who's passed on through.
And what's crazy is if they take it upon themselves to defend themselves and they unalive somebody, guess who's going to jail and getting right back in the system anyway? That's the sad part. They can't even
Yep.
defend themselves.
No.
They can't even defend themselves. That's crazy.
Nope.
What? No, man. No, I just can't.
Everybody they run to, because everybody they run to is a part of it.
I'm telling you, this world is nasty. I mean, like I said, you could say United States all day, but this girl has been to Russia. She's been to Belize. She's been to Dubai. She's been
Yes.
all over the place.
Yes.
And the same things have happened. So it's not just the country we live in; it's the entire globe. The entire globe is corrupt and wrong, and it does wrong, and it doesn't do right by the little ones.
Imagine getting away, getting out, and running to a police officer to help you, and that police officer take you right back to where you just came from.
Or worse. Or worse.
It's sad, but it's time for the nation to wake up, because it's real.
You hand your kids over to police if they're doing right by you, but that's not always the case. Just because they're in a uniform and they got a badge and a gun does not mean that their intentions are correct or their agenda is right. There's something wrong with that situation. There's something wrong with those situations. I was taken by a police officer for 2 weeks, and I can only remember a day of where I went and what happened to me. I can only remember a day of it.
Oh, wow.
And that's no lie. And that is no lie. I swear on everything. I can only remember a day of it. But I was gone for 2 weeks. I didn't have any belongings with me. I didn't was allowed to have any money. I was taken by state troopers to a certain location. And I remember one day. Other than that, I remember absolutely nothing else. Why is that?
Sound like MK.
Psh, baby.
I don't like
What?
it. It's closer than you think. It's closer than people think. Like people in the military, I believe that every last one of them who served, thank you for serving, MK Ultra has been MK Ultra. And
You know,
don't remember a lot of stuff that happened while they was inside.
In my experience, the one thing I do remember is I was there with all girls. There was no guys. The only guys that were there were like the people that were in charge of us. Those were the only men that were there. And I don't remember any females being a part of any of those men in charge of all of us girls. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it was definitely a sketchy situation that I cannot remember. So that's real. That whatever that is real because I don't remember it, and I'm sorry, but those are things like that. Those are things in my childhood that I need to remember. I think I was 8? I think I was 8 years old. I think I was about 8 years old. So I was a little kid. I wasn't even 10. I was a little kid. Gone from home for 2 weeks. Left with a police officer. Only remember a day of that experience and driving there. Remember the day of being in the facility, and then the part of the ride home. That's all I remember.
Yeah, we continue to vote for them. Yeah, because that's all we know. All we know, we think we have a privilege to be able to vote because at one time we couldn't. So we think it's a privilege to vote, and it's not.
It's a curse. Everything's opposite. Everything is opposite. It's not a privilege. You're doing it to yourself. You are damaging yourself by doing that dumb stuff. And they're laughing at you. They're sitting back laughing at you like you're like a fool, like the fool that they're making you out to be. They're laughing at you because people don't wake up to realize that you're doing the same things. You're the definitions of insanity, and they're laughing at you because they keep feeding you all this garbage that you continue to consume. But want to point the finger at somebody else that doesn't choose to eat the same garbage you're eating and actually have a mind and a thought process of their own, they're the bad ones. Oh, you're not being a patriot. You're not. No, what the hell? Patriotism isn't part of being a part of a corrupt system, buying into a corrupt system.
Right.
That's not patriotism. That's not part of what I want to be known as a patriot or a citizen of this country.
Exactly. And this, like we were saying earlier today, this right here, selection. Our voices ain't gonna be heard. Whether you do or you don't. They're gonna do what they want to do regardless. They already know who they're gonna put in place.
Well, other countries already know it's gonna be a hell of a show because from what I hear, Canada shut down their borders.
Shutting down their borders.
Can't come or go no by the railway, boat, or land. You ain't getting in Canada or out until the shit show for the United States is over. Now, why is that?
Of course, we the last one to know. They're not gonna tell us anything. No, they're not gonna tell us nothing. It's just gonna happen. If something gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. They're not gonna tell us anything.
According to some sources, Canada is is now under natural law.
Natural law, no longer maritime law.
Natural law.
More stuff they keep from us because that's how we should be. And if we are, and we're not being told that we are, that you see how easy it is for them to still continue to treat us in that way, like we're still under maritime law, because we don't know. We
continue to give them power every 4 years. We hand them the torch every 4 years and say, "Please control me for the next 4 years," because I can't control myself. Obviously, I can't be in charge of my own free will. So I need you to control me. Thank you. Then I'm gonna complain about it for 4 years. No.
Because we don't know. We don't know that we're giving them permission to govern us. We feel like we're putting them in a position to speak for us. But they're not speaking for us. They're doing what they think is the best interest of us, which is always whatever their agenda is. They want you to think you got a choice in a voice. We've been bamboozled. We have been bamboozled, people. Wakey, wakey. The Great Awakening is here.
They're very bad, very, very bad people. They're very bad people. And, you know, we are surrounded by them, and there's only a select few. Like, if you listen to some of the things that Ellie says, she calls that the 90%. You know, he calls them the 90s. And that's the 90% of the people that are literally listening. But there's still 10% out there that are just heading to clouds, you know. But there is 90% that are like, And the sad part about it is most of those 90% have been touched or groomed or victimized themselves.
Right. Exactly.
That's the sad part. That's the sad part, that in many households, especially adults nowadays, you could ask them, were you ever touched or groomed, or and whether they want to say it or not, most likely it's happened, whether it be by a teacher, whether it be by a pastor, by a family member, a family friend, it's happened.
Yep.
And that's the sad part, because that's part of the planet we live on. That's why they're trying to make it so normalized, because it's normal to them, but it's not to the victims. And you have to live. You have to live with that. You have to, and then you create more demons, create more monsters that do the same thing and repeat that cycle because that's what they know. It's like they call it a generational curse type thing. You know, hurt people hurt people.
Yep. Hurt people hurt people.
Crazy. I just can't. It gets to my core.
It's sad, but it's true. And see, we're being distracted by so many other things, we don't see what's right in front of us. So you know, all they're talking about right now is that it's was supposed to end on tomorrow, November 5th. But around this time, while all that is being displayed. It's so much more going on behind the scenes.
Always is. It always is. It's always a cluster of chaos and BS around this time of year, and they do that purposely. They feed you. You got bad weather going on. You've got Ellie's coming out with her story. You got Diddy in the news. You've got other celebrities in the news. You've got
other survivors coming out now. Other survivors are coming out also.
Yeah, then you've got court cases that are going on. You got all kinds of stuff going on. Then you got some so-called alien sightings and this. You know what I'm saying? There's so much going on that it's overload. It's sensory overload. They do it purposely.
All we have is the news media to inform us. It's all lies. Exactly. That's why we are now the media. Mainstream allegedly is fake. Allegedly. So we are the news. We are the news. We have to be the creators. We have to inform each other. Because
that's what I'm saying. We need to get out. We need to put our boots on the ground. Put our boots on the ground and go to these places. Start looking at these tunnels. Start looking at these containers and investigating and asking questions and not being afraid of the people that are supposedly guarding them and saying, "Hey, so do you care to give us a tour? Do you care to walk us around? See if we hear anything." We're just trying to debunk the situation. You gotta get on the ground because you can't report things and be the news all from hearsay. Like me personally, I want to know. I need to know for myself, not from somebody else saying it on TikTok or saying it on YouTube or saying. I need to know for myself.
Until it hit your back door, people don't care. You're right, Miss Uwe. Until it hit your back door. Until you hit your back door, people do not care.
And it's even worse when it hits your front door.
That's the truth. That is the truth, and I'm disgusted with it. I am.
Just the lack of respect for a human life, regardless of what sex it is repulsing. Like it's literally, I can't even call these people that are doing these things human. You cannot be human and do this to another human.
They may not be.
That's what I'm saying. Because you can't possibly be human and do this to another human. You can't possibly be. Like I just don't understand where's the shutoff in your brain that allows you to literally do this to not only another human, but a child. A child. Something that cannot defend itself. That no matter what, you outweigh it, you outmuscle it, you outsmart it. What? Come on. That's ridiculous. I just can't. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Ridiculous.
I pray for somebody if I run across something shady like that going on. I pray for the person that's doing that to these kids because I'm not gonna be able to contain myself. Some people might sit back and say, none of my business. I'm gonna make it my business because I'm not gonna sit back and watch something like that because for the rest of my life I have to live with the fact that I let that go on. I can't do it and I won't do it. There ain't nothing that can stop me from doing it.
It remind me of when I was little. I have flashes of eating cereals and looking at pictures on the milk carton. It was always a different face every time we got a milk container of a missing kid. And I was wondering, well, what happened to them kids? They run away? What happened to them kids? Walmart. There's so many children. Any Walmart you go in, you're gonna see missing children's on the walls of Walmart.
One day I stood and looked at the dates. I looked at the dates, and they're all around the same age, and they're all within 3 or 4 months of each other when it's happened. I stood one day and looked at the dates on all those things, and I analyzed the pictures, and I'm like, And they're all from around the same area too. Next time you go into Walmart, to do yourself that justice and look at those things and look at the sequence and how it all works. It's pretty disgusting.
Hold it down, Drew. Hold on. Disgusting.
It is. It's pretty disgusting. I mean, I looked and they're usually range from the ages of 13 to 17, which still makes them minor, still makes them underage, so they're still kids, and they're all from the same area, taking around the same amount of time. So it almost seems like they're doing a swoop, like a whole swoop, and just gather as much as they possibly can. I mean, there was a situation one time it was around the holidays, and I was in a Walmart, and the stores were packed. It was like around Christmas time, and I remember it was wet and snowy and cold, and I went to come around the corner. This little girl come flying around the corner. She fell, and I picked her up. I said, "Oh, honey, you okay?" And she starts crying. She hold on to my hand, and she's looking around, looking around. I said, "Honey, you okay?" And she looks at me, holding on to my hand for dear life. She said, "I can't find my dad." And I said, "You lost your dad?" And I'm like, "Oh man." And it's a good thing that I am the person I am, because if I wanted to take that child, I could have took that child. I went around. I said, "Can you tell me what he looks like?" I said, "What does he have on? Is he my height?" I'm talking to this little girl, and she crying, but she holding onto my hand for dear life. And we started to walk up to the customer service, and I start looking above heads. I see this tall man with a fur on his jacket. He's looking back and forth, looking back and forth. And I look, and I said, I stopped. I said, "Is that your daddy right there?" At the same time, I point to her. I point to him, and she looks at, and she runs up to him. He's like, "Where have you been?" And I was like, "It's okay." I was like, "She found me. I'm looking for you." But not all kids are that lucky. It's a good thing that little girl came to me, because if she'd have came to anybody else, she probably wouldn't be. She'd be another picture on the wall. And that's a sad thing to say, but she'd be another picture on the wall. Yep, I remember that situation. It was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, that's how that works. You get lost and separated from your parents in the store, and you may never see them again. And that's why when I'm out with my babies, I got them on a leash, boy. I don't keep my eyes off them. I can make sure when we go to music park. Oh no, we have a whole system: 2 in the front, 2 in the back. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't even play. I'm not even playing. I don't do that. No, nope, 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 nope. Cause I'll be damned. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope. But I'm gonna pray for Allie and her mom, and pray for all the other kids, and hopefully we can find a way to maybe set something up to where we can help get some of these kids out of here. I mean, we can't count on the authorities, we can't count on the police, we can't count on nobody else. It's gonna have to be on us. We're gonna have to take care of ourselves. We have to govern ourselves and police ourselves, and this is part of it. You know what I mean? Like, we can't rely on them to do all that.
Parents, please keep an extra eye on your kids. Don't take nothing for granted. The school system, activities, nothing. Don't take nothing for granted. When it
Don't
comes
trust
down to
nobody.
it, don't trust nobody. Keep your eyes open.
Like they say, keep the eye on the prize, and the prize of them children. Keep your eyes on them children. Keep your eyes on the
Right.
prize, because that's not what they will endure. What they will go through is nothing. I mean, if only 66% of the chat believe that girl, you don't want it at your front door and have your kid telling you the same thing that she's trying to tell us right now. You don't want to have to believe that way. You don't want to have to do that.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I'm gonna bring a part 2 tomorrow on Allie. It was a
Okay.
lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, and then you have to, sometimes you gotta let people
There's a lot to
know.
say, so we'll have part 2 tomorrow.
You need to let the people know that sometimes it could be a trigger warning. So you gotta, kind of inform people that it's some serious content, and it's triggering for some.
Then that's why I put my disclaimer up. Exactly why. Exactly why. So, them out there in the chat, Miss Ooey, coming out. We're gonna have a part 2 tomorrow. Jug, Drea.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open.
Salute.
And salute to you.
The world keeps burning. Oh, what a day. What a day, what a day. You rush into destruction cause you don't have nothing left. The mothership can't save you, so your ass is gonna get